Hello, this time we're going to work on participles, just active participles in the present and the aorist. And we're going to use the verb poieo, an epsilon contract. So the endings are all going to contract with the epsilon, and so in most cases it's going to be oo, ou, because eo becomes oo. Most of the participle endings have an o. So first of all, I've written down the nominative singular forms in the masculine, feminine, and neuter. Oh, remember, on, usa, on are the endings, so we get poion, poiusa, poiun. Un comes from eon. And now you have to remember that in the masculine and the neuter, the participle is third declension. So I'm going to go ahead and write the masculine ones first. Poiuntos, poiunti, I'm adding the third declension endings. Poiunta, and you can see the contraction occurring. Poiuntes, poiuntone, has to be an acute accent there. Poiusi, which looks just like the third plural indicative, but that's because the nu and the tau have dropped out. And finally, poiuntas. Okay, so that's the masculine. Now in the feminine, it's first declension, and this is one of the first declensions with a short alpha in the nominative and accusative singular. So in the genitive, it goes back to being an eta, poiuses, and the same thing in the dative, poiuse, but then the accusative is going to be our short alpha, poiusan, and the plural then will be just like any other first declension noun or adjective, poiusi, poiuson, shifting the accent, poiusais, and poiusas. And then when we move to the neuter, it's going to look a lot like the masculine. So in the genitive, poiuntos, dative, poiunti. And then the accusative is going to look just like the nominative, because that's true for all neuter words. Nominative and accusative are identical in form. And then the neuter nominative plural will, of course, have the alpha, the short alpha, which all neuter nouns have for the nominative and accusative plural. So poiunta, then poiuntone, poiusi again, and poiunta again, the neuter, that neuter alpha. And now if we move to the aorist, first of all, notice that all these then are going to mean making or doing. But poieo is a versatile noun. It has lots of different uses, and sometimes you have to translate it from context. Okay, so making or doing is the basic meaning. Now if we move down to the aorist, we have to use the third principal part, poiesa, drop the augment from it. So we'll have poies for our stem. And then the aorist active participle endings are as, so poiesas, asa, so poiesasa, and an, poiesan. Now when we, again in the masculine and the neuter, they're third declension, so it's going to look a lot like the present did, but now just with that alpha in there. So we're going to have poiesantos, poiesanti, poiesanta, poiesantes, poiesantone, poiesasi, where again the nu and the tau drop out, and poiesantas. That's the masculine. And then when we move to the feminine, again it's going to look a lot like the present, but just with an alpha in there. So poiesases, poiesase, poiesasan, poiesasai, poiesason, poiesasis and poiesasas. And then when we move to the neuter again, it's going to look like the present neuter, except again with the alpha. So genitive poiesantos, dative poiesanti, accusative poiesanta. Oh, sorry, accusative is going to be poiesan. I got carried away there. Accusative is going to be just the same as the nominative in the neuter. And then the plural, neuter plural, we'll have the alpha again, poiesanta. Then back to the genitive and dative endings, poiesanton, poiesasi, and finally the neuter plural accusative, poiesanta. And so the basic meaning of all of these would be having made or having done, after having done, after having made, or something like that. Though again, you would have to translate from context because poieo has a variety of different meanings. So that's the present and aorist active participle.